Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Spank Ranch Garage. 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and my tire machine took a crap at the last minute. Dropped the doozer. So let's see what's going on with this. Got some kind of massive internal leak, and it lost all its power. Alright, so this machine's an old Hunter TC3250. What I like about these are they're 100% pneumatic. You just hook up air and everything works. There's no plugging in electricity, there's no motors, none of that crap. So that being said, she needs some attention. Let's rip into it and see what's up. It's been probably 10 years since I've had this machine apart, and it's a good thing. I haven't had trouble with it, but what I do remember is it was an absolute bear to work on. Put some air to it and see if we can see or hear or better feel where this thing's leaking from. I hope it's just a relief valve blown out or a hose or something, because I think these are starting to get hard to get parts for. It was hard 10 years ago. What the frick is all that? Oh, great. There's your culprit. Damn mice. What is all this crap? They ate the internal insulation in the machine. Cool. Well, they definitely ate something. Oh, look at this. There's a hose totally chewed off. Effers. Son of a biscuit. It looks like that's the charge line for the bead blaster tank, potentially, or something like that. Yep, here's the other end of it. Alright, well, that's not a terrible fix. These mice will eat anything. Plastic, rubber, copper even. They eat the Romex at our cabin, the copper and the insulation. It's absolutely unbelievable. These things need to get a life. But this makes sense, because I used it and it worked fine, and then a month later I go to use it and it's blown out. Chewed to death, they say. And it looks like 8mm tubing, so of course I don't have any of that kicking around. See if any of the guys at work got anything. If not, I'll be putting a rush order in on McSpankster for this. Shout out to McSpankster Car for the one-day shipping. Hopefully we get this thing fixed, because I need it tonight to mount tires. So where did I pull that hose out of? Let's air up, see what happens. Good. Alright, so that's normal noises. That is filling the bead blaster. Now there is another leak somewhere that I need to take care of. It's been pissing me off for years. Seems to be up here, so we'll take care of that. I also hear a lot of other air leaking. Alright, so I got more leakage at the, this is where we split the input air and the third hand, part that you would use to roll your tire under. We'll replace those hoses while we're in here, and then I think I got another leak to take care of too. But the less this thing leaks, one, it's easier on my air compressor. Oh, don't tell me they changed diameter on this. Don't be telling me that. Don't tell me that. All right. I mean, this thing's a 2001, so things are just getting old. And the more we can change out, the better. back up. That's not cool. Something going on with this fitting. Hopefully the O-ring's not nicked in there, but I have a feeling that that's what's going on. Oh, that went a little further. Maybe we just weren't seated. Let's try again. Oh, that's nice. All right, she's pretty quiet. I got a little baby leak up here at the third hand, but that's okay. We got to air up the compressor. We don't even have enough air in it right now. All right, nice. We're at 130 PSI. She's nice and quiet. So third hand, nice to have feature, right? Motor runs good left and right. Wheel grab runs good. Bead breaker's working. I'm sure the bead blaster and all that crap works. Little briefing on these machines if you're looking to get one. They're at the age now where you can grab them cheap. What's really cool about these is they're 100% pneumatic mechanical, all relay logic. There's no electronics in this. So a little bit of how this works, at least so there's a little value in this video instead of just me changing hoses. There is a pneumatic motor, and that is the heart and soul of this machine. So keep an eye on this chain down here and this shift fork, and I'll show you how the bead breaker works. So when the bead breaker is pulled out, see how that's snapped in? That hooks the bead breaker to the main motor. So that's one of the functions. The other thing that's pretty cool is there is a mechanical limit switch down here. When the bead breaker pulls in, hits that, and it pulls the air off that engagement mechanism so the bead breaker doesn't just deadhead against the machine. Pretty cool. The rest of the design, there is a brake mechanism, like a brake clutch mechanism in here, and a large screw. And that screw, you can kind of tell the motor rotates a little, then stops when you use this pedal. It's basically, it takes the torque from the motor, unlocks the brake band, or I forget exactly which way it works, and then it runs a big screw up with wedges that spread these arms. This is at least what I remember. It's literally been 10 years since I had this part. So that's how that works. Third hand's pretty self-explanatory. Just a double-acting pneumatic cylinder. That is really handy to have. Nothing too crazy there. And then you got your side pedal down here, which is a two-stage pedal. The first stage will fill your tire with air. There's a regulator somewhere in here that only lets you fill to like 60 pounds, kind of annoying. And then the second stage releases the bead blaster, which is this big tank here, through these big hoses to this ring around the tire. I don't really find this too helpful. It almost never helps me. So not the selling point of the machine. Plus, it's got the full floating head on it. It's pretty hard to bang up a wheel with this machine. If you do, you probably don't know what you're doing. Little flip down tool for riding your beads in on your low profile tires. Also have this center bead holding device. Plugs into here like this. It follows the tire around if you need it to help you hold the bead. And nice little rack on the side here. And then the other thing I really like about this machine, and the reason my boss purchased this back in '01, I later bought it from him once it failed, is that it does really small wheels. So if you do quads, this will go all the way down to a 10-inch rear wheel on a quad, which a lot of automotive tire machines will not. See, that really pulls in tight to grab a small wheel. And then the other thing that's cool is the versatility of this center spring. So you pull this collar down here, collar up, and this whole piece comes off. And then if you need to, I have the external wheel mounting kit for this. So you put these adapters on. Now you can grab wheels from the outside, so it does motorcycle tires as well very easily. Or if you're doing, you know, some reverse mount wheels, like some Japanese wheels that you need to flip and grab by the face, and there's not enough lip to get your pads on, you can grab it from the outside. Works really nice. The heart of this machine is this pneumatic motor, and unfortunately I threw away the spare part. I held onto it for years and I finally got rid of it. But basically this motor is like, It's very hard to explain. I've never seen anything like it, but it is like a radial, it almost looks like a radial airplane engine, except the body stays still and the center crankshaft spins, and on that crankshaft are all these rollers, these wheels or rollers on individual pistons, and those pistons ride on ramps in the outer housing. And then there's this distributor ring at the bottom or on the top, I don't remember. It's this big white plastic ring, and it directs the air to the wheel that is riding down a ramp. And as the motor turns, it grabs the next wheel, the next wheel, the next wheel. And that's how you create an extremely high torque, low RPM pneumatic motor. I wish I knew what that type of motor was called. I'll try to find a picture at least of the distributor ring, or maybe a parts breakdown. I'll post it in this video. I bought this thing for 200 bucks back in like 2010. And that part was like $250 back then, but it was still available. The distributor ring wore out on it. So I replaced it. I haven't had a single issue with this machine since, except for what you just saw here. It's time for some hoses. Haven't been gentle with it either. The funny thing is, when I lived in the city, I had a 2-bedroom apartment with a basement, and this was sitting next to the washer and dryer. And I would run it off a DeWalt nail gun compressor and mount tires in my basement back when I was drifting on way more of a budget than I am now. But I ended up keeping this thing. I use it for everything: motorcycles, quads, cars, trucks. I've had up to a 35-inch tire on this with no problems. It might clear a 37. Really nice machine to have. So if you find one cheap and the motor doesn't turn at all, it probably needs motor work, but everything else is very easy to fix on this, and I'm pretty sure all these fittings and valves are pretty standard industrial supply stuff. So you get it, tear it apart, see what's up with it. The other thing I've seen is it's got an oiler on it. The motor needs to be oiled, but the motor, I didn't see any drain holes or passages in it. My motor was like almost submerged with oil, and that was eating it up as well from an efficiency standpoint. So maybe you might find one of these that's just flooded out with oil. You can disassemble the motor, clean it up, drain it, and put it back together and get another 10 years out of it in a home shop or whatever. So on a different note, I also have the Hunter balancing machine from a similar vintage. So if you guys are familiar with these, they're fairly good machines. I got this one for 200 bucks because the display didn't work, and I was able to pull it apart, unsolder the board. Well, it's mostly a shelf right now because I balance tires a couple times a year. But anyway, what I like about this machine, it was also serviceable. Even though it had a circuit board failure, I was able to desolder the bad components, find matching components, solder them back together, and I got a good balancer here for like 215 bucks. It's nice to have, doesn't get used all the time, mostly just a crap collection because it's a horizontal surface. Well guys, that'll be a wrap for this one. Simple $20 worth of tubing. This machine is back to her former glory. She really could use a bath, but we'll get around to that. Let me know if you got any problems with your tire machine, or if you're looking to buy one of these. I can't recommend them enough. I think they are a great option over some of the Chinese stuff, which you may be able to get into at the same price, but I just don't see one going 25 years of service with minimum maintenance. Maybe you have better results than that, though. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching Spank Ranch Garage. I'll see you next time.